feature. All right, and then I need to take this up so I can hear myself. Okay, so we got that one going, got that one going. Hello, 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 hello. Good morning. Dr. Tochi here. We're continuing from yesterday. Just came back from the water. We went to go do some work at the water. And I decided to go and indulge. So I had me some good junk food. Good afternoon, Ms. Deja. Hello, Donut Nurse. Thank you for liking the live, Ms. Deja. Please remember to power tap if you're on TikTok. On YouTube, remember to give a thumbs up. That encourages me to produce more content like this. And Ms. Deja, do you remember that young lady from yesterday? Um, she sent me a DM asking to chat with me on WhatsApp. I sent her a link to my website and she wrote me back and she goes, I don't know how to do it. So I wrote her back and I said, the same way you go on Amazon and shop, the same way you go online, you click the link and you buy things from TikTok. That's the same way you do it. And if you don't want to do it, here's my fee to talk to me. Okay. Because I noticed yesterday you were trying to be helpful and she was trying to make it look like you were trying to be evil. Okay. So it's just to let you know that people know what to do, but oftentimes they will pretend like they don't know what to do. You spent quite a bit of time yesterday um, trying to help her, work with her, okay? And she was deliberately misunderstanding you or claiming that she didn't know what to do or where to go. She first said, oh, you're no longer on YouTube. And when I said, well, I'm live on YouTube right now, then she now tried to get a free dream interpretation. Do I give free dream interpretations? Yes, I do, but not under coercion. Okay. So I saw yesterday you were making every effort to help her. And I just was watching everything that was going on because I'm familiar with that shtick. So, Deja, send me a DM or email. I will give you a free dream interpretation. Okay. So, Deja, make sure send me your information. I will give you a free dream interpretation. Okay. So we don't play those kind of games over here. You have to learn your worth. Greetings, Miss Kiona. You have to learn your worth and you have to insist on what you're worth because people will not pay you what you're worth unless you insist on what you're worth. People will ridicule your gift. I know that for those of you who are Bible scholars and Bible students, your Bible says, the gifts of a man make way for him before kings, make way for him before rulers. But the same Bible says a prophet has no honor in his own country. Okay. So I want y'all to learn from this. Okay. From this. Don't think that you're the only person that this happens to. It doesn't, it doesn't, it happens to all of us. There are people who will come on and they want free. And they don't care whether you have bills to pay, whether this is their source of living or not. They don't care. They just want what they want. So you have to learn how to get and to stand on and focus on what you want. If a person is coming at you with what they want, you have to be able to return that energy and say, this is what I want. This morning, during our water ritual this morning at the ocean, one of the participants was sharing with me an ongoing drama she's having with her mother. Okay. Thank you for liking the live, Ms. DJ. I appreciate it. And her mother keeps demanding, give me, give me, give me, give me. I gave birth to you. Give me, give me, give me. And her mother uses her funds to fund their pastor. She will buy things for the church, do things for the pastor, and the daughter is not married, trying to establish herself. The mother is not even concerned that her daughter is not fully settled as an adult, as a woman. The mother is not concerned about that. All the mother is concerned about is give me, give me, give me, so that I can give the church, so that I can have favor with my pastor. And there are many people, especially those who are children of immigrants, those in the diaspora, those on the continent. Matter of fact, it's not just an African problem, it's an Asian problem. It's a South American problem, it's a Central American problem. It's an immigrant problem, it's a diasporic problem. The parent keeps saying, give me, 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 give me. And you are working hours, you're doing shifts, you're working overnight, daytime, nighttime, you're doing all these things, and the person turns around and gives it to the person who is more important to them. That is painful. That is despicable. That is horrible. And if nobody told you that that's terrible and horrible and despicable, you heard it from me, Dr. Tochi. It is horrible, despicable. And if you are a mother or a father who is doing that, you are being despicable, and you are being horrible, and you are being terrible. I am telling you. Okay? Remember to give the live stream a thumbs up. That lets the platform know to inform other people that class has started. And there are many times I hear this. I get traumatized just listening to that. Because I know how it feels to be doing for somebody who is doing for someone else. I know how it feels to be doing for someone, and you're doing this out of love, or you're doing it out of duty. You're doing it out of respect. And that person you're doing for is doing for someone else. You love a man or you love a woman and you're doing for them, but they love someone else. Just like Tamaya said, your boo got a boo. And you are not your boo's boo, because your boo got a boo. So when you're looking at the person, you're saying this person is my boo. But that person you're looking at and saying is my boo doesn't see you as their boo. They're seeing someone else as their boo. And for those of you who are French speakers, when you hear English Anglophones saying boo, they're actually saying boo. It took me a quick minute to figure that out, because when people were like saying boo, boo, I'm like, why are they calling people boo? It turns out that it's boo. So if you're a French speaker, boo is actually boo. So your boo has a boo. You were not your boo's boo. Your boo has another boo. But you think you are your beau's beau, that the way you see them as your beau, that you are their beau. But no, they got another beau. So you are spending all this time, money, resources on this person, and this person is spending it on someone else. Or there are some parents who will take from you and give other siblings. I can't tell you how many times I've heard stories of first sons and first daughters where the parent will say, hold off getting married, hold off starting your own family so that your siblings can get married, so that your siblings can get started. And it's not like they're saying it from a place of love, but they're saying it from a place of, well, you are a burden bearer. You are my firstborn, and you are here. Your purpose, your destiny is to bear the burdens. So it doesn't matter if you end up getting wasted, if you don't make it, if you don't become something or somebody, it doesn't matter. That's annoying. That is annoying. And if you are a parent who is doing that, you are annoying. And don't be running up here and saying, well, my parents did it to me. Is the obligation of my children? No, it's not the obligation of your children. You chose to have the children. And if you have a parent who is making incessant demands on you, if you have a parent or a family member, an uncle, an aunt, somebody who is making excessive demands on you, especially if that person is older than you, this is what you will say to the person. Your mates are leaving heritage. Your mates are leaving legacies. Your mates are leaving inheritances for their children. What are you leaving for me? Your mates are leaving houses, land, property, trust funds, bank accounts, cash, money, jewelry for their children. What are you leaving for me? If you're to die today, what will I inherit from you? You need to be bold and say it. And I know that sometimes it's hard to be bold because if you have been socialized to be respectful, sometimes being respectful works out to our disadvantage because you're like, I can't possibly say that. I can't say that. You know, that's disrespectful. I was raised to respect. Okay, if you cannot say it, get someone to send a text message, a WhatsApp message on your behalf, somebody that parent does not know, or go get a burner phone. Get a burner phone, a phone for making trouble. Go get a burner phone. And from your burner phone, send a message to your mother or your father and say, your mates are leaving inheritances for their children. What are you leaving for your children? Let them deal with it. Let them process that. Let them process that. Because I am sick and tired of weeping women, especially weeping women. There are some men too that will complain to me. But I am sick and tired of weeping women who are spending all their time, their lives, trying to please parents that are unpleasable. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. Everything your mother tells you to do, you do. Everything your father tells you to do, you do. But what you ask your mother to do for you, she will not do. What you ask your father to do for you, he will not do. I'm tired of it. And so the person comes to me or goes to someone else and they're weeping. My mother wanted this, I gave it to her. She wanted money for this, I gave it to her. My father is demanding this, I give it to him. Buy this, give me this, give me this. I mean, there were so, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, there were so many stories told today. I was I was traumatized. I want to change my background here. I was traumatized just listening to people. I was I was I was daggered this morning because we did our rituals at dawn. We finished early, and so we went back to the Airbnb to have breakfast. And what I was hearing was mind boggling. It was mind boggling. Where's my background? I want to, if you add a background, so I want to put my book. Hold up. I want to put my book here. Okay, there we go. I want to put my book in my background. Remember, if you're on YT, remember to give the class a thumbs up. Give the live stream a thumbs up. That lets the platform know to notify others that class is in session. Please help notify your classmates that class is in session. I'm just like, I was like this morning, just listening to stories. And you have grown women crying and saying, am I cursed? Am I cursed? Because when I talk with my friends, their mothers are doing things for them, their fathers are doing things for me. But when I look at my life, I am the one who is doing all these things for my mother, doing it for my father. I'm doing everything to please them, but they're unpleasable. So if you feel you don't have the courage to address it up front, get a burner phone, get a burner email, and send them an anonymous message, and just say everything that you want to say because you're using an anonymous email or anonymous phone. Put them there in the WhatsApp. Pour out, but make sure you don't identify yourself if you're afraid of identifying yourself. Just put there and say, are you not ashamed of yourself? If is Jeff Bezos not your mate? Are you not older than Jeff Bezos? Are you not older than, just pick somebody. Are you not older than Oprah? Are you not older than Beyonce? Are you not older? Just whoever. Are you not older than Beyonce? Are you not older than Davido? What are you leaving behind for your children? Okay, you are a follower of this pastor or that pastor. Let's say, for instance, they follow Kenneth Copeland or they follow Benny Hinn. I don't know if Benny Hinn is still around. Okay, is Benny Hinn still around? I can't see. I think Benny Hinn is still around. Isn't he the one who made a confession that a lot of things he said, a lot of prophecies he made was fake? Started saying these are the mistakes of my ministry. A lot of prophecies and a lot of things I said were fake. Tell them if they're a follower of Benny Hinn, if they're a follower of Crystal Yakalima, if they're a follower of what's that guy out in South Africa, but uh, the one his name starts with a B, but prophet, but um, prophet, prophet, what it, what's the name of that guy? It starts with a B. The one eventually he and his wife got in some wahala. Okay, thank you, Miss Kiona. Benny Hinn is 73 and still alive. Thank you. If they follow Benny Hinn, if they follow any of these people, ask them. That pastor you're following has left an inheritance for their children. What have you left for your child? Let them deal with it. Let them deal with it. Okay, Jeremiah. Is it Jeremiah Fufunyin? Fufunye, the one who does Nollywood art. His advertisements are like Nollywood movies. Like bad Nollywood movies. Yes, they're all living inheritances. Jerry Eze, Ebukobi, they're all money. You're older than these people. What are you leaving for me? You follow these people. You these are your prophets and your priests and your pastors and your evangelists and your hoo-ha and your ha-hoo. They are leaving Odumeje. I'm a fan of Odumeje. You know, Kanduka Ganduje. I love that guy. He don't care. He don't care. He has 7 powers. I have 7 powers, and I haven't started using all my powers. Kadosh Kabish. I have powers. Yeah. Are you not older than? Are you? Is Paul Biya not your age mate? The president of Cameroon, is he not your age mate? Trump, is he not your age mate? Trump has left billions for his children. He's still collecting and amassing for his children and grandchildren. Are you not the same age as? Are you not the same age as Trump? The little I have, I give you. You're ungrateful. Is Trump not your age mate? John McCain has died and left things for his children. When you die, what are you going to leave for me? Sometimes you know what? Sometimes you need to damn because people are like, well, the Bible said, honor your parents, honor your mother and your father, blase, blase, blase. But the same Bible says, parents, do not provoke your children. The same Bible that y'all are quoting says, do not provoke your children. I don't know how to make this comment thing stay so that I can see the comments. Because remember on YT yesterday, the comments were kind of hiding and people were like, hey, we're here on YT and you're not responding to us. Thank you for liking the live nonchalant. Do you understand? My ears today, my ears were full. People just, and I can't tell you that this is the first time I've heard this. It's not the first time. There are so many children, especially women, who have no problem making demands on their husbands, their boyfriends, their fiancés, their partners, and men the same thing. But they don't have the courage to make demands of their own parents. Okay, what was that coming there? Quincy Jones. Okay, look at it. Miss Kiona shared here. Quincy Jones left 500 million for his children, and each one of them got $80 million each. Is Quincy Jones not your age mate? Is Quincy Jones not your age mate? Sometimes you gotta ask that. Is Quincy Jones not your age mate? Michael Jackson, are you not older than Michael Jackson? Michael Jackson left things for his children. Are you not older than Prince? Aretha Franklin, do you know senior her? Let me just use African accent for this. Are you not her senior? And she left things for her children. You know senior Ram? Are you not her senior? You're sitting down here demanding. I mean, the audacity of the whole thing. And then you have some parents who'll be there shouting and screaming, go to work. Your mates are doing double shift, and you're sitting down here at home. Your mates are doing double shift. Okay, if my mates are doing double shift, your mates are doing contracts. Your mates are buying property in the abroad. Your mates are buying property in the abroad, training their children in the abroad, living properties, plural properties for their children in the abroad. So if you're saying I need to be out here doing double shift, triple shift to be buying things for you, you yourself. And some of these parents will come out and say, well, those people, their hands are not clean. They know how they got those things. They didn't get it through clean hands. Can you not go and dirty your hands so that you can leave things for us, your children? Those people who are dirtying their hands and leaving things for their children, do they have two heads? Do they have two heads? Do you know sometimes you need... let us put spirituality aside for a minute. There are sometimes you need a serious conflict so that everybody will know where they stand. Are you with me? I mean, is anybody picking up what I'm saying? There's sometimes you need to have that the fight to end all fights. Let everybody's true color show. Let there be clarity. Let everybody know their position. Let everybody know their lane. There's sometimes you need to show up and say to somebody, you know what? I am going to be Boko. I don't want to say the whole thing because of the platform, but you all know the rest of it. The haram people. You show up like Boko. Today, I will be the Boko H in the house. You will Boko me, I will Boko you. We will Boko ourselves here. That thing that wants to happen tomorrow, let it happen today. We will not put off till tomorrow that thing that can happen today. So that thing that you think will happen tomorrow, let it happen today. We're here now. Sometimes in your life, you need a good... Sometimes in your life, you need a good war so that people can respect you. Sometimes you need a good war so that your parents can respect you. Oh, I don't want to offend. I don't want to offend. I don't want them to say. I don't want them to say that I'm obstinate. I don't want them to say that I'm disobedient. I don't want them to say that I'm headstrong. And you keep on giving and giving and giving, and there's no gratitude. Oh, I don't want them to say I'm a stubborn child. I don't want them to curse me. It is better you curse me. Let me have my freedom from you. Curse me. Let me have my freedom from you. I will go and because the curse of a wicked person is to no avail. So if you're cursing me and you have no spiritual ground to curse me, that curse will not take effect. That curse will not, that curse will not come to pass because you have no spiritual grounds. I did not offend you. And even if you believe that they offended you, I will go to a powerful spiritual practitioner and reverse everything that you've done. But I will still not give you because you have cursed me. There's sometimes you need to have this fight. You will say, woo, woo. TikTok, do you see this? My fingers are coming behind the filter. That's funny. On TikTok, I have a filter. When I put my fingers like this, the lipstick on the lipstick on TikTok is over my fingers. It's so funny. Sometimes you need to. Sometimes you just need to be the boko. Just come out. Just say, woo! Shame. Oprah left something for the children in South Africa. Her daughters in South Africa. What have you left for me? Quincy Jones left something for his children. Michael Jackson. You know Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson left things for his family. What have you left for me? And if you're the kind of child I am, I will even pull up my blouse at you. I will moon you. I will pull down my pants and moon you. There's sometimes you will just say, let me just fight today. We will figure ourselves out tomorrow. Let us duke it out. Let us duka today. My people, I was so traumatized today. Food came to those who didn't know how to eat it. Food came to those who didn't know how to eat it. Please remember to power tap. If you're on TikTok, remember to power tap. Thank you very much. Let's get those likes up so that the platform will notify more people that we're on. This is not what I wanted to talk about today, but like I said, we just finished that morning water ritual, and I'm not even home yet. I'm still on the road. I was like, I gotta stop over here and do a live because this thing is annoying. YouTube folks, please remember to give a thumbs up. I appreciate you. Give the live stream a thumbs up. You're over here crying. Oh, my mother hates me. My father hates me. Oh my God, look at all the things I'm doing for them. And I did this for them and I did that for them. Oh my God, I'm praying to my spiritual crew to make them to love me. Are you mad? Are you drunk? Are you out of your mind? Somebody's oppressing you and you're asking your spiritual crew to make you even more subservient to them, to your oppressor. Are you okay? Are you okay? I'm going to open up. Okay, I'm going to open up this guest thing on TikTok here. I'm going to open it up. Let me see. What does this look like? I'm going to open it up. If you want to come up on TikTok, and come up on TikTok. If I like you, I let you up. Okay. Don't be sitting there and saying, well, my culture is not the American culture. My culture is not the UK culture. My culture is not the Canadian culture. But you're suffering in silence. And let me tell you something. If you don't do what you're supposed to do, your spiritual crew, those spirits you're praying to, those deities, gods and goddesses, and whatever it is you're praying to, will not do for you what you are supposed to do for yourself. If you want to come up, TT, if you're on TT and you want to come up, just request and I'll bring you up. Your spiritual crew will not do for you what you can do for yourself. This morning when on my way back, excuse me, when we finished this morning, I was like, you know what? I'm going to do a live. And after that, I have errands to run. I'm not usually a breakfast person. We already had some breakfast over there, by the water. And I was like, you know what? I need something a little bit more substantial. I stopped over at Mickey D's and got me some breakfast. I went to Mickey D's and got me some breakfast. I did not sit in my car. I did not sit by the water and say, "Oh my spirit guides, bring me food." I'm a hard-working practitioner. Please bring me food. I've already been given a vehicle. I have a vehicle. I have money. I can see. I can drive. What prevents me from going to get the breakfast? You've given me the car. You've given me money. You've given me sight. You've given me ability to drive. My whole body is functioning. And people don't really think through this. Oh, I'm being oppressed. Oh, I'm being oppressed. Yet you remain in the place of oppression. Yet you remain in the place of oppression. Oh God, save me, save me, save me. But you remain in the place of oppression. For those of you who are into the Bible, when the Israelites kept crying, oh God, save us, save us. Oh God, save us. Did they not leave Egypt? At the end of the day, did they not leave Egypt? We know it's an allegory. We know um, we know that those stories are allegorical stories. But be that as it may, did the Israelites not leave Egypt? Yeah, they were crying. We're being oppressed. We're being oppressed. We're being oppressed. We're being oppressed. But at the end of the day, did they not leave Egypt? Did they not leave Egypt? Did they not despoil their oppressors, collect their gold, their silver, their jewelry, their valuables, and leave Egypt? Did they not do that? But some of us would be there, oh, I'm calling on my creator, my guardian spirit. I'm calling on my ancestors. I'm calling on my water spirit guides, my earth spirit guides, my fire spirit guides, my air spirit guides to help me endure and overcome the situation in which I find myself. And then when it doesn't happen, Dr. Tochi, can I have your WhatsApp number? I want to discuss this situation that is oppressing me. Let me have your WhatsApp number so I can talk about what I've talked about before. So I can talk about something I'm not prepared to take action on. I just want to knock my jaws together. I just want to knock my gums together. I have no intention of taking any action. I have no intention of making any decision. I just want to wallow here, and I want you to encourage me to continue. And that's why many of us stay in church, because when we're in church, we are told, hold on, endure, carry on. You're fighting a good fight. The Lord is on your side. Don't quit. Don't give up. Don't move. That's what we're used to. That's what many of us are used to. Because we go to church and we're told, don't leave. Stay there. It's a battle. And so we stay. You stay in the bad relationship, bad marriage, bad partnership, bad business, bad job. We keep on staying there. Victory is yours. You will defeat your enemies. Stand against it. It's a tempest. Psalm 91 says you will tread on the lion and the adder, the young scorpion, you will tread on it. So stand there. As the scorpion is biting you, keep on kicking the scorpion. Miss Kiona says, God wants to bless you. What's holding him back from doing so is my thought. That is exactly what it is. Because God has already blessed you, but you choose to stay there. Many of us do. And I talked about this yesterday and the day before, most especially the day before. Many of us don't understand the not just the literal and the figurative meaning of move. We need to understand the spiritual meaning of move. Some of us understand the literal meaning of move. Move. I'm going to get up from here and go reposition myself. Some of us understand the figurative meaning of move, which is this situation is not good for me and I need to go into another situation or condition. I'm not making enough money on this job. I need to go look for another job where I'll make more money. Or my business is no longer selling this product line well. I need to go and add more product lines. We understand that. But some of us don't understand the spiritual principle of move. So permit me to break it down to you. Progress and change doesn't happen when we have not decided it is going to happen. Okay. I'm feeling like a Bible scholar today. I used to teach Bible study. I used to be heavily involved in Bible things. So I'm feeling like a Bible scholar today. Before Abraham became Abraham, remember that he used to be called Abram. And he and his family and his household, he used to be like the Tuaregs. He used to be like the Bedouin. He used to be like those people in the desert. They're nomads. They take their camels and their sheep and their rams and they go looking for oases where there's green grass, where there's water, where they can pitch their tent and stay for a while. And when those places go dry, they will pick up their tents, pack up their things, and then go look for another place to go stay. And that was their life. Okay. And Abram, before he became Abraham, used to travel with his household idols. So his wives had their idols, he had his idols, and they would take these idols and they would wrap them up and put them in their saddle as they rode their camels. So whenever they got to a new place they were going to set down for a while, they would set down, set up everything, and then bring out their idols. And they will set down their idols and worship their idols, venerate their idols. And we understand what is meant by idols, their spirits. When Abraham encountered those two strange visitors, aka angels, and he took care of them and fed them and gave them water to drink. And they're like, okay, you have been good to us. We are going to reward you. Okay. You need to get up from here. Now, here's what's going to happen. We're going to prophesy. You're no longer going to be Abraham. You're going to be Abraham because you're going to be a father of nations. And this is what's going to happen, and this is what's going to happen. Look out. You see all that sand there? Your descendants are going to be like as numbered as the sands, as the grains of sand here. And Abraham fell down and said, oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. That picture was a picture of his spiritual evolution. He moved from worshiping and venerating lesser spirits to worshiping and venerating bigger spirits. They came to him and said, there is a spirit in this land you have moved to. Here's the name of the spirit. And the Bible will say, oh, it's Lord God, and so on, and Jehovah and all that. Okay, we're not here to debate. There are Bible scholars and Middle Eastern scholars who talk about the origins of Yahweh. Okay, if you want an academic scholarly discussion on Yahweh, how Yahweh came about, the deity called Yahweh, go to YouTube and look up this channel called Esoterica. Okay, and it's run by Dr. Jason Sledge. That video alone has, I forget how many million views it has, where he sits down. He's a PhD like me, and he systematically, and he's Jewish. He's Jewish. So he's not like anti-Jewish, anti-Christian, anti. No, he's a Jewish man. But he talks about how Yahweh, the deity, came about and how Yahweh became so well known. So you can go on YouTube and look him up. Go there and type in Esoterica Yahweh. Pull up that video for you if you want to see that. Just be prepared for the research that went into that because he comes with receipts. But here we are, and he's not a spiritual practitioner or spiritual teacher. He's like his area, Dr. Jason Sledge's area is he's into medieval magic and esotericism and things like that, Kabbalah and who's doing what and all that Near East belief systems and things like that. That's what he analyzes, that's what he tracks, that's what he researches, and that's what he teaches on. But over here, we're spiritual practitioners because we got needs. So we look at the theory, we look at the frameworks, we look at the principles, we look at the research, and we say, for those of us who are here now in 2026, how can I use this information to help myself? Are you still with me? Are you following here? Are you following here? Because I want to make sure that no child is left behind. If you're still following and understanding what I'm saying, let's have your AYE in the comment section. If you are understanding what I'm saying. Okay. So we have a spiritual movement. Abraham made a spiritual movement. He went from lesser spirits, working with lesser spirits, to working with more powerful spirits. He went from working with lesser deities to more powerful deities. Okay, these other deities I'm working with, they're working for me. I still got problems. I don't have any children. I don't have an heir. It's interesting to me. Maybe there was a sperm problem because his wife wasn't pregnant, and we don't have any story about any maid servants being pregnant. But after he had that conversation with those angels, the strange visitors, everybody be getting pregnant in his household. He just look at you, you get pregnant. Okay. So maybe they had some little bit of roots or something they gave him, and anybody he touched or came into contact with, they started getting pregnant. I'm just guessing. Okay, we're just having a little bit of fun. Some of us, that is what the spiritual move looks like. We in our spiritual journey, however that spiritual journey is, whatever path that spiritual journey happens to be upon, some of us need to start moving from the lesser to the greater. And those of you who attended the level 1 and level 2 retreat, remember we talked about it. If the spirit you're working with is not performing, you move on. If it's not doing what it's supposed to do, you move on. This is the reason why, if we are not performing, people in our lives will move on. If we are not giving people what they want, those people will move on from us. It's a spiritual principle. It's a spiritual principle of movement from the lower to the higher, from the lesser to the greater. And we do this every day in our lives. If you're not meeting job expectations, they will move on from you. They will invite you to leave. If the job is no longer meeting your expectations, you will move on to somewhere else that meets your expectation. But there are many of us who will not move, regardless of the promise of something bigger, the potential of something bigger. Many of us will still, oh no, I want to stay here. It's safe. Even though I'm being oppressed, I will stay here. Even though I'm getting the short end of the stick, I will stay here. My pastor said I should not go, so I will stay here. My imam said I should not go. My sheikh said I should not go. I will stay here. Are you picking up what we're dropping here? The movement, when we are moving in life, sometimes we have to be moving on multiple fronts. You're moving physically, you're moving mentally, you're moving emotionally, you're moving financially, you're moving spiritually. And if you don't move, you stagnate. And if you stagnate, game over for you. And so this morning, after that watered ritual, and we're sitting together, and one person started telling the story of her conflicted relationship with her mother. The other women started chiming in with their personal examples. Greeting, yes, Flip. The people started chiming in with their examples and their experiences, and I'm sitting back and I'm listening, and people are chiming in, and they're like, oh yeah, this happened to me too, it happened to me too, let me tell you what my mother did to me. The other ones are, well, let me tell you what my mother said to me, let me tell you what my mother. Oh, one of them said, oh, both my mother and my father. And then I asked a question, and everybody got quiet. And I said, why are you still there? Why are you still there and tolerating this from your mother? Why are you still there and tolerating this from your father? Why? And everybody got quiet for a minute. And then the excuses started rolling in. Oh, I don't want them to think I'm obstinate. I don't want them to think I'm headstrong. I don't want them to think that I'm ungrateful. I don't want them to feel bad. I don't want them to think, I don't want them to curse me. And everything was external based. I don't want them to. 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 And nobody in that group this morning was saying, I don't want for myself. Do y'all see the difference? I don't want my parents to. I don't want my parents to. But nobody in that group this morning was saying, I don't want this for myself. I don't want to for myself. So, how do you expect your situation to improve when you're constantly outward looking, but you're not inwardly looking? When you're not willing to upgrade your thinking, you're not willing to upgrade your consciousness, even when the evidence is smack dab right in front of your face. You're not willing to change. And some of you have heard me tell the story of my own childhood and teenhood and how I had to make a break for my own freedom. Did I suffer? Yes, I did. Did I suffer greatly when I decided I had had enough? Yes, I did. But here I am now. I don't have that albatross around my neck. And when I made a break for my freedom, it changed everything. It even changed the ways people treated me. It changed the ways the adults talked to me. When they realized I was ready to risk it all, that I had had enough, it changed the way the adults spoke to me as a child. When they realized I was ready to risk it all, and I told them if I go down, I will not go down alone. I just want y'all to know if I go down, I will not go down alone. So think this through. Think through what you're doing. Think through what you're doing to me. Think through what you're saying to me. Because if I go down, I will not go down alone. People started changing their positions. People started getting comfortable. People started calling me a witch. People started calling me names as a child. Because I was like, I'm willing to risk it all. And that's why earlier today, even though I was saying it in a semi humorous manner, the conflict has its advantages. If you have a conflict with a purpose, not just having conflict for conflict's sake, but if you are having conflict with a purpose, I will lay down this burden here. I will no longer pick it up. I will no longer play this stupid game for stupid prizes. I am done with playing stupid games for stupid prizes. I'm done. And people will say, oh, you're bold. You're aggressive. Yeah, I'm bold and aggressive because I'm not doing what you want me to do. If I'm doing what you want me to do, you're not going to call me bold and aggressive. There was someone in my 20s I briefly dated. And at the time I was dating him, I did not realize that he was married. Okay? And when I met him, I had my own car, I had a job. He had more money than I did. He was from Nigeria. No, this is not uh, bashing Nigerians again. Because someone's going to say, are we bashing Nigerian men again? No, I'm just sharing my experience. He was older than me. He was much older than me. I wasn't aware that he was married. But after a while, I started recognizing the signs of disrespect. I will share a couple of examples. One time, he asked me to drive him in my car. I used to drive a sports car, a red sports car. Some of you might know the car. It was a Tiburon. They no longer make that particular vehicle. I think it was a Hyundai Tiburon. Okay, two-door, flashy looking, and one night I had spent time with him and so on and so forth. And he's like, "Here, I need you to drive me somewhere. I want to go see one of my friends. Can you come with me? I want to go see one of my friends." And I said, "Okay." So, and remember, he wasn't putting any gas in my car, he wasn't putting fuel in my car. I never thought of it. So he got in, and I drove him. He gave me directions, and I drove him to go see the friend. So when we got to the place, he was getting out of the car, and I was getting out of the car. And he said to me, "Don't get out of the car, wait for me. I won't be long." I said, "Oh," he says, "Yeah, you don't need to come out. I'm not going to be long." Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that man went visiting his friend. I'm assuming it's a friend. Maybe it was another woman. I don't know. He was there for over an hour. And I was sitting in that car in the dark. I was sitting in that car in the dark. And I called him on the mobile phone. He didn't answer. And just like any self disrespecting woman that I knew and still know, and yes, I said what I said. Y'all who've been following me for a while know that I'm very precise in what I say. At least I try my best to be precise in what I say. Like every self disrespecting woman, I stayed there and continued waiting for him in the dark. I sat in the corner. And I started reflecting upon my situation. I said to myself, okay, I drove this mofo over here with my own fuel. He's not doing anything for me. It wasn't like he was giving me money or buying me anything or anything like that. He wasn't doing anything for me. Okay? I was just happy to be in a relationship. I was just happy to be in a relationship. Okay? So I'm sitting out here in the dark for, it was 10 minutes, 15, 20, 30, 45, 1 hour. And I'm calling him on the phone saying, I gotta go. I don't want to be sitting out here in the dark. He's not picking up the phone. And when he finally picked up the phone, he's like, I'm coming soon. Stay there. And I was so happy that he picked up the phone anyway. So I kept on staying there. I was sitting in that car for almost 2 hours. And eventually he came out and he scolded me for being impatient. And I started thinking to myself, is this what I wanted? So we went back to his place. He had I want to say it was a 3 bedroom condo. It could have been a 2 bedroom condo, but I want to say it was a 3 bedroom condo. And he said to me, do you know anybody? Is there anybody you can recommend to me? I need roommates. And at that time, I was also looking for a place to stay because I was staying with a friend at that time and I wanted to move out from that friend's place. So I was like, oh, I'm looking for a place to stay. And he said, oh, okay. I can rent a room to you for $700. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm talking about a long time ago, not now. His mortgage was probably about $700 or $800. Okay. And I knew what his mortgage was. And he wanted me to pay an amount that was equal to or almost the amount of his mortgage and still have access to my body. because he was saying to me, oh, it would be so great if you take this room beside my room. My room is the master bedroom, you know, so that way I can have access to you. You won't have to travel to come here. But I had a little bit of common sense then. Not too much, but I did have a little bit of common sense. And I said to him, help me understand this. You want me to pay you $700 to rent this room in your condo, and you will still have access to me and my body? And he said, yes. He was bold. He looked me in the face and he said, yes. Do you have a problem with that? And I said, yes, I do. I'm not going to do that. He was like, oh, well, then go find me someone who will rent for me. That's how he used to talk to me. Then I don't remember if it was the same day or some other day. I was sitting in his living room. He had left me in the living room. We were done in his bedroom, so he went ahead to go and sleep and left me by myself in the living room. And I'm sitting there and I'm saying, thinking to myself, is this what I want? Is this what I want? And I was watching television and fell asleep on his sofa. Fell asleep. And I fell asleep and leaned over. And you know how, like, you're trying to get comfortable on the couch and you stretch yourself out on the couch. At some point in the middle of the night, this man came and saw me lying stretched out on his sofa, and he started kicking me. And yes, I said what I said. He didn't tap me. He was kicking me with his foot. Get up, get up. I told you my couch is not meant for sleeping. It's a leather couch. So they're kicking me awake. So I got up and I said, I'm sorry. Got into my car and left. Never went back. Except one day, I had a plastic container, a food container I needed. I had left it over at his place because it was one of those things where, women, you know what I'm talking about. You're in a relationship and you're cooking and taking the cooking over, taking food over. So I had a container over there. So one day I called him and I said, is it okay if I come and pick up my container? And he said, yeah. So I came, he opened the door, and he had my container in his hand because he didn't want me to come into the condo. And I took the container. And he said to me, oh, you no longer come over here. You know that I have needs. I notice you're no longer meeting my needs. And I said to him, well, I got somebody else now. And he slammed the door in my face. And I laughed. That was the last I ever saw or spoke to that man. Did I grieve the loss of that oppressive relationship? Yes, I did. I need you to hear. Some of you need to hear me on this. Did I grieve the loss of that oppressive relationship? Yes, I did. Because at that moment, I was like, who else is going to want me? I was in my 20s. So who else is going to want me? But I want to let you know that here I am. Okay? Almost 40 years later, here I am. And I don't know if he's still alive or not alive. I have no idea. Okay. And some years later, there were some people I knew who were involved in Amway. Remember, I was saying the other day, talking about Amway and MLM um, schemes. And for a moment, I used to be involved with Amway. You know, you're selling household products. And they had a convention, a whole bunch of us went. I think he was there. I didn't recognize him. Okay. But obviously, this man saw me there and he saw me with these other people. And later, one of the older women who was there, I was friends with her. She called me and she said, Tochi, there's this guy. He said his name is such and such. Nigerian guy. He said his name is such and such, that he's known you for years. And I said, yes, I know of him. And she said, he was asking me for your phone number. And I told him, I want to ask you first, is it okay if I give him your phone number? And I said, no, it's not okay. Thank you for asking me first. And no, it's not okay to give him my phone number. And she was like, wow, he's a man. He might be interested in you. She didn't know that I already had history with him. And I had found out that he was married with kids in Nigeria. And he was actively planning to bring his wife and kids to Canada. She didn't know that I knew this. She didn't know that I had dated this guy. She didn't know what I had tolerated and endured at his age. She had no idea of this backstory. And I didn't feel it necessary to start getting into it because she was more enamored of the fact that, oh, there's a man showing interest in you. But you see, we're talking about years later. I was long past and gone beyond that. And I, at this point, had other men who had shown interest. I think at this point I was even married or on my way to being married. I was on my way to getting married. And I said to her, no, I am not interested. And please do not give him my phone number. Oh, I think that was the time we were planning to move to the US. So I think she had mentioned to him that I had moved to the US or I'm on my way to moving to the US, something like that. So he asked for my phone number. And in my mind, I was like, okay, here comes the vampire. Because now he's hearing I'm moving to the US. He wants to have a connection in the US. Maybe he wants to start emigrating to the US himself and he needs somewhere to stay. So, whatever the reason was, I'm not interested. Why am I telling you this story? For a number of reasons. One, to let you know that I am familiar with the game. I am familiar with relationship oppression. This is just one of hundreds of stories I have. But it's just to let you know that I'm familiar with relationship oppression. I am familiar. Oh my goodness. There have been comments on YouTube and it's not showing. Okay. Um I want you so when I speak about these things, I speak from personal experience. I'm not speaking from the experience that other people have or from the stories that other people tell or from something I've read in a book, but I'm telling you my personal experience. When this was happening to me, I want you to hear me on this. When this was going on with me, I want you to know that I already was into spirituality. I already knew how to do different kinds of divination. I already knew a lot of spiritual things. I already had a spiritual background. But when you are hungry for a relationship, most specifically, when you are hungry for love, you will even put God aside. You will put not just yourself, you will not just put yourself aside, but many of us will put even the Creator aside. We will put our ancestors aside. We will put our spirits aside because we want love. And remember, when we have our group invocations, or when we used to have our group invocations, I would say this, that we were created for love. We were created for love. We want our parents to love us. We want our siblings to love us. We want our relatives to love us. We want our partners to love us. We want our companions to love us. We want our associates to love us. We want people to love us. We even want random strangers to love us. We want our animals, our pets to love us. We want trees to love us. We want the universe to love us. We were created for love. So it is not unusual that we will make mistakes in our need for love. We will put our Creator to the side because we're needing love, human love. Let me be specific. We will put our spirits aside, spirit guides aside, because we are needing love. Thank you for liking the live, BW. We will put our own survival to the side because we're needing love. That's the story of Romeo and Juliet. Okay. Okay, you're gone. I'm going to go because you're gone. Because I want your love. So because you are gone, I am going to go. That's the story of Romeo and Juliet. You have gone and I want your love, so I'm going to go too. And that becomes romanticized. Oh, look at how cute. Romeo went and Juliet couldn't stay without Romeo, so she went too, so that their love will be eternal. And even when they say women will be intimate for love, yeah, and men will love or pretend to love for intimacy, at the end of the day, it all boils down to one thing. I want that human touch. I want someone to want me. Even if they're lying to me, even if they're oppressing me, even if they're maltreating me, even if they're doing strange things, I want someone to say, I want you. You are mine. I claim you. That's what we want. And so we will make mistakes. So I'm saying this to let you know that I understand this. And that desire for love, that desire to be loved, makes us make a lot of mistakes. God will be speaking to us and we won't listen because we're like, I just want so. I know God exists, or I believe God exists, but God's not in my bed right now. I know my ancestors exist, but they're not with me right now. They're not holding me. They're not loving me. They're not making me feel good. They're not releasing the oxytocins in my system. They're not releasing any serotonin or dopamine, any of those feel good hormones in me right now. I need another human being so that I can feel loved. I want to see and touch and taste a real human being who will make me feel good and have my body release these hormones. So I understand that. I understand that. So when we are in these strange relationships with our parents, and these oppressive parents, these parents who are not nice, are doing what they're doing to us, and we stay. I understand that too. You're welcome, BW. You're welcome. I understand that. When you have a mother sidelining her children for another man, or sidelining her children for the pastor, I understand that. It's all in the search for love, even though it is a mistaken search. Or you have a father sidelining his children. A lot of decisions we make are based on how we feel or how we want to feel. I want to feel good, so I will go to McDonald's and get a sugary meal, a fatty meal, because I want to feel a certain way. And I know that if I have the sugar, the salt, the fat, I'm going to feel a certain way. So I understand that. Thank you for sharing the live, Ubuntu 69. Appreciate you. I encourage you to share the live. More people need to join the class so that we can have this conversation. I understand that. There are many of us who only interpret love through intimacy. That's the only way we feel loved. A person could be doing things for us we don't recognize. Remember, there's a book out there called The Five Love Languages. So there's love through service, love through doing, love through this, and love through words, and love through whatever, whatever. There's some of us who interpret love, who only understand love through intimacy. If you're not intimate with me, you don't love me. If you don't touch me, you don't love me. If you're not doing the doody do, you don't love me. And people who take advantage of us will say, okay, so that's her love language, or that's his love language. So they will now start using us and our bodies for strange things. And even though we know that these things they're doing to us are strange, the things they're doing are strange, and even though our spirits, our spirit guides are telling us that these things are strange, we will put all of that aside because we're saying, This person, yes, they're doing strange things to me and my body, but I'm feeling loved. The person is saying terrible things to me. They're starving me. They're humiliating me. They're embarrassing me. But because they are touching my body, because they're intimate with me, I am being loved. It's weird logic, but when that thinking happens, it happens in nanoseconds. Our thoughts happen in nanoseconds and our decisions follow in nanoseconds. Nanosecond. It happens. We and what I'm describing here is not what happens like in hours. Okay, this person's doing this. Let me sit here and figure it out. No, I'm sitting here and I'm going. I want. I want something sweet. Boom! My body starts moving towards the direction of getting something sweet. My body moves. If I'm sitting here and I'm saying, "Oh, I want something sweet," and I start thinking of a smoothie, I will start up my vehicle, engage the gear, and start moving towards where I can get that smoothie. I'm not spending a lot of time thinking about it. My body will move in the direction of where my mind has gone, not where my mind is going, where my mind has gone. I want a sweet smoothie. Once I'm in that car, I've started that car, my mind is there. My body is now going to catch up with my mind there. I want my mother to love me. If she calls me a witch, at least she spoke to me. Boom, I'm going there. My mind has already seen it and anticipated it. I know that if I talk to my mother or visit my mother, she's going to call me names. She's going to call me a witch. She's going to curse at me and lash at me, but at least she's going to speak to me. And that's how she loves. And that's how she raised me to understand how love appears. So I now attach love to verbal abuse. So anytime someone verbally abuses me, I accept it because to me, I have been trained that means love. And so my spiritual crew is saying to me, this is not normal. I say to them, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Let me get this love first. I will come back to you later. I'm having dreams that are telling me that this situation is not okay for me. I'm putting that aside and I'm saying, hold on, hold on, hold on. Let me deal with this thing and get my dopamine trip or my oxytocin trip first, and I'll deal with you later. This is the reason why women who are about to marry the wrong men will have those dreams, and they know, intuitively know the meaning of those dreams, but they will disregard the dream and go ahead and marry the man. And then later, when you start asking them, did you ever suspect that this man was not the right man for you? Yes, I knew. I dreamt about it. I knew he was not the right man for me. So why did you go ahead and marry him? Oh, my mother. They usually start with an excuse. Oh, my friends were married. Or somebody told me this is the right person for me. I didn't want to be single. I wanted to be like my friends. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, blah, blah. Never me. Oh, he was nice. He love bumped me. He bought me a car. He, there was one woman, I was listening to her story. We were all sitting together. And I said to her, why did you know that this man was not the right person for you? She said, yes, I knew. I said, so why did you marry him and why did you have children for him, knowing that this person was not the right person for you? And she said, oh, because he introduced me to his parents. And that for her was a sign of love. Oh, he's introduced me to his parents. So, thank you for the repost, BW. Thank you for the like, Honey Bunny Forever. Because he introduced you to his parents, you interpreted that as love. So, this is why it's important to have these conversations. This is why it's important to have a spiritual life. When you have a religious life, oftentimes it's very different, very not different, difficult to have other perspectives. And you think that the pastor says you have to stay there till death do you part, so I'm going to stay there. The pastor said it's like that. The Bible said that, whether the Bible said it or not. Oh, everybody in my church or my mosque, and they said we have to stay there and endure for the sake of Allah, so I'm going to stay here. Allah rewards the patient. Allah rewards the humble. Allah rewards the suffering. So I'm going to stay here so that I will get my reward. And so we stay. And our spirit guides, our ancestors are saying, this is not for you. And we're like, that's okay, I can handle it. And then when you pray, you're like, oh God, make him love me. Make her love me. Make my in laws love me. Make my children love me. And you don't want to leave that situation. So that's the spiritual principle of movement. That's the spiritual principle of movement. So sometimes physical movement is not sufficient. Sometimes just emotional movement is not sufficient. Sometimes we require a spiritual movement, going from the lesser to the better and from the better to the best. When somebody rejects you, it is an invitation for you to go to better, not to worse, not the same. I repeat, when somebody rejects you, it is an invitation for you to go to the better or to the best. If your own mother or your own father or your own brother or your own sister rejects you, that's an invitation for you to go to better. You have family that is not your blood family. And once you open yourself to that possibility, things will start changing for you. You can have a mother who is not your blood mother. You can have a father who's not your blood father. You can have a brother who is not your blood brother. You can have a sister who is not your blood sister. And they will be so much better for you. You can have a mother who is not your blood mother. Oh, but I was just hoping that one day my blood mother will reconsider and think about me and her mind will change about me. I was hoping that one day my father might change his mind and accept me, and I was hoping that my father would do this. I was hoping my mother would do this, and I've been praying for my mother to do this, and I've been praying for my father to do this. Dearly beloved, what if that your mother, your biological father, or your adopted mother, adopted father, what have you ever considered they may not have the capacity? Have you considered that they may not have the capacity? Let's do a little test. What is the integral? No, I need to pick someone for this. Or should I just put it out? Let me ask this question. What is the integral of dx over dy? Can someone give me the answer? What is the integral of dx over dy? I want to illustrate something here. What is the answer? Absolute quick plan. What is the answer to this question? The integral of dx over dy. She said the answer. That is that. D is common. Ah! BW, wait. BW said that is that. D is common. What I mean. Okay. So I said, what is the integral of dx over dy? Absolute said the answer. BW said D is common. Binka says X plus C. Okay. Binka.com. Are you convinced that that is the right answer? Did you go and ask ChatGPT or Google? Wait. And Kaiga says X over Y, D cancels. Golly. Golly. Hold on. I'm going to pause this. Hold on. Okay. What is the integral of dx over dy?
The integral of dx/dy depends on the variable you are integrating.
Okay. So, let me go back over here. So, Binka.com says it's X plus C. Okay. Some people, okay, Absolute says, hold on. I want to see what you're writing here because this is funny. And Kaiga says X over Y D cancels. Absolute said, damn, I got 388.19847 with remainder of 7. Rose Marie Allen says formula 1 over Y. Formula 1 over Y. Lady Azana says absolute is right because D is constant. Miss Kiona says Google it and still confused. It is derivative notation in calculus that means the rate of change of x with respect to time t if t. The person who got the right answer is Binka.com. And Binka.com, I don't know if you did the math yourself or if you just quickly went over to Google and did it. I don't know. You might know these things. Here's a point I want to make with the question I just asked. For those of you who did not get the answer right, does it mean that you're stupid? Those of you who did not get the answer right, does it mean that you're stupid? No, it doesn't mean that you're stupid. You just were not familiar with the question. You didn't have an experience of the question. You didn't understand the question. You didn't know how to work out the question. It doesn't mean that you're stupid. You're not stupid. Okay. So now that I've said what is the integral of dx over dy, there are some of you who are going to file away this question in your brain. And if I come back 1 month from now and say, what's the integral of dx over dy? You're going to answer x plus c, because now it is part of your knowledge base. It is part of your knowledge base. Now, I could go further and say, okay, give me an example of where the integral of dx over dy is applicable. And then now we're taking off. The fact that you didn't get it right doesn't mean that you're stupid. You just did not know. You didn't know. You didn't know. You just didn't know. So sometimes you have to give yourself grace. But once you know, you cannot unknow once you what you know. Once you've heard a story, you cannot turn around and say, I will unhear the story. If you've heard it, you've heard it. There's no going back. If you know it, you know it. There's no going back. You might forget, but it doesn't mean that you don't know. So, if you are loving incorrectly or loving for the wrong reasons, give yourself grace and say, okay, I've sat in today's class. I'm now understanding because now I'm being introduced to different perspectives about life and spirituality. I am now understanding that this position that I'm holding is not working to my advantage. I can change my position. I can change my perspective. If my mother's out here acting like a rogue toward me, if my father is acting like a rogue toward me, I can change things up. I can say to them, you know what, I've had enough. And if they refuse and if they insist that they're going to keep on treating me terribly, I can disconnect. I can prioritize my self survival over their self survival because they're doing what they have to do to keep themselves and their ego alive. And I have a right to do what I need to do to keep myself and my ego alive. And my ego is necessary for me to have self dignity. Because I know there are people out there saying, oh, kill the ego, the ego, the ego, the ego, the ego. No, your ego is necessary for self dignity, for self respect. Because your ego is what stops and says, wait a minute. It's your ego that stops and says, wait a minute. Is this person being a mofo? Or am I misinterpreting this situation? That's your ego. And then your intuition kicks in and says, yep, you're right. This person is being a mofo. And so your ego is the one that rears up and says, I've had enough. I've had enough. So when that man was kicking me on his couch, telling me I was not fit to sleep on his couch, he was kicking me and he was saying to me, have I not told you not to lie down on my couch? Do you know how much I paid for this couch? If you want to be on this couch, you have to be sitting down. You're saying that to a 20 something year old. I knew that something was wrong. And that was about the last time I went to his place. That was the last time. I didn't have to wait for worse to happen. Because sometimes people will say, well, it's not that bad. How bad does it need to be before you recognize that it's bad? I want you to ask yourself that question. What needs to happen before you will recognize how bad it is? If your mother keeps taking from you and giving to her pastor, or she keeps taking from you and giving it to her mufti, or she keeps taking from you and giving it to her rabbi, to her priest, to her sheikh, to her imam, to her apostle, to how bad does it have to get until you realize that the situation is bad? What needs to happen? If your father is constantly cursing you, telling you you'll never amount to, there's this other story I was seeing online too that also was getting my goat up. And this has to do with people who come from cultures where the dowry is paid for the bride. It's like a bride price or dowry. There are some people in their culture when a woman is getting married, her family will demand a dowry from the groom. And when I say family, I'm usually meaning the father side of the family. So the father and his side of the family will say, we have spent a lot of resources in bringing up this young woman, and so we need a token from you to signify the value of the woman we are giving to you in marriage. That is the concept of dowry. It's supposed to be a token, a representation. And some families take this overboard. They look at it as an opportunity to enrich themselves. So if someone is coming to marry their daughter, they will start making all kinds of material and financial demands. They want cars, they want houses, they want property, they want jewelry, they want money, they want food, they want, all kinds of things. There's some families who are like that come from those kinds of cultures. And the poorer the family is, the more their demands are, because they're like, okay, this girl is getting married. Here is an opportunity for us to enrich ourselves. So they will send a list of things that the groom and his family have to give them before they will allow their daughter marry the groom with their blessings. Now, I say this because there were some videos that I saw of young women saying that they grew up without their fathers. And again, these are people who grew up in patriarchal systems. Okay. And in these patriarchal systems, it's usually the father's family, the father's side of the family that gets this dowry. Okay. So, what happens when a man has abandoned his wife and children, and the woman has single handedly raised her children, maybe sent them to college, set them up in trade school, and now it's time for the daughter to get married or the daughters to get married, and the father surfaces himself and says, okay, the culture says that I, as your father, get to collect your dowry. I get to collect your bride price. And you cannot get married without my blessing. What happens? That this father was not there for all the years that this young woman was growing up, never contributed anything, never contributed, never brought money, never visited. He has moved on with his life, maybe married somebody else or even moved to a different country or whatever the case may be. But here we are, the girl is now ready to get married. She has a groom, and the father comes out of nowhere. Somebody has told him that, hey, your daughter is now ready to get married. She's about to get married. There's a suitor, and he comes to demand financial compensation. He says, well, that's my daughter. I brought her into the world. So, what happens? What would you do if you were in this daughter's position? What would you do if you were in this daughter's permission position? Absolute is always going to be right about some D. You're correct, correct. Therapist once told me family is the boot camp for how society will treat you in love. That man was an uncultured idiot. Okay, so BW says very tricky. BW, why do you say it's very tricky? I want to hear your perspective. And if you want to come up, come up. Come up here. There's the box here. So come up if you want to talk about this. And Kaiga goes, he can't receive. It's a big no. Okay. Zirpenda, that's happening in my life. Okay, Bloom Wellness Hub says this happened to me. What would you do? What would you do? My family of all strong women, if we're married or not, that's not even a thing. BW, because in our Africanism we are blessed by our fathers. Zirpenda say he got nothing. And BW, you were saying in your Africanism you're blessed by your father. So what happens if your father does not bless you? Does your life come to an end? I'm in a funeral arrangement. I'm not able to come up. Okay, that's fine. The Kiona Way says that father made himself a stranger and would have sent him away the same way he came, empty handed. So let's look at BW's statement. In our Africanism, we are blessed by our fathers. So, what happens if your father decides to withhold his blessing? Does your life end? Michi M says, tell him to kick rocks. So, what happens? So, if your father says, if you do not allow me to come and take this money from this groom, I will not bless you. What will you do? Does your life end? Do you say, okay, come and take the money so you can bless me? Will you accept the blessing of somebody who never blessed you, never participated in your life, did not contribute into your life? How significant is this person's blessing in your life? The person never contributed to your upkeep. The person never asked after you. The person didn't do anything for you. How significant is this person's blessing to you? Okay, sun gonna shine tomorrow. Tell him to get. He ain't getting a penny. Okay, Zerpenta says no. He was never a father. Don't want the blessing. Okay, because I'm going by what BW is writing here on TikTok. Bloom Wellness Hub said, my father left us, never sent me to university. I trained myself as my mom was not able to. When it was time for my bride price, I refused to invite him. Did your life end when you refused to invite him? You see, a lot of us operate out of fear and conditioning. Oh, I gotta be blessed by my father. My father has to bless me. But you have been living successfully all your life. You have been getting things done and accomplished all your life without this person's blessing. You have been waking up in the morning. And I love this statement because BW says, I assume the same way we pay for generational curses is the same way. I'm not sure I understand that. But anyway, and I love this statement by BW because it forces us to be reflective. Do you see how BW say in our African culture, we are blessed by our fathers? And do you notice how BW did not say we are blessed by our ancestors? BW did not say we are blessed by God. BW did not say we are blessed by our spirits. BW did not say we're blessed by our deities, gods, goddesses, spirit guides, spirits. BW did not say that. BW said we're blessed by our fathers. So are we saying now that the blessing of the Father supersedes the blessing of those who have kept us alive while that Father was absent? Because who was keeping you alive to the point where now someone has come to marry you and this person shows up to collect the bride price? Did the Father bless you, pray for you, do things for you so that you will survive up to that point? They did nothing for you. Remember, this is the scenario we're setting up. I'm not, and understand where I'm coming from. I'm not saying a situation where the father was prevented. Okay. I am not saying a situation where the father was prevented, because there are some situations where there's an acrimonious dispute or conflict between the man and the woman prevents the man from being involved with the children. I'm not talking about that situation. I'm talking about the situation where the man just gets up and goes away and does not care about the woman, the children. He says to himself, they will figure it out. I will only come back after the children are grown. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the situation where the father was deliberately kept out. Because there are situations where the man wants to be involved with his children, but the wife does not permit it. She's so angry, she's so bitter, and she doesn't permit the man to be part of the children's life. So I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a situation where the man is like, y'all are burden upon me. I want to go about my life and my business. There's some younger women out there. I got to be outside. When you're done raising the children will look for me. They will return to me as their father. There's a point I'm trying to make here, and I need people to understand. We need to be able to put two and two together. If I've been living a good life, if I've been living a good life without you, I don't need you to continue living a good life. If I've been making progress in my life without you, I don't need you in my life for me to continue making progress. A lot of us get brainwashed by culture and tradition. Toxic men aren't allowed in or around the children ever. Okay. Okay. All right. You as an individual need to be able to sit down and say, okay, here is what I am today. Here's what I've achieved today. Here's what I've been able to do today. Who has been present and who has not been present? And if I have someone who was not present in my life showing up down the road saying, well, you need me to bless you. Without me, you are nothing. You yourself need to receive sense. I've been waking up without you. I've been healthy without you. I've been eating without you. I've been drinking without you. I have been socializing without you. I have been functioning without you. I have gotten an education without you. I have started a business or started a job without you. Then you're showing up later on and saying, oh, you will be nothing unless I am part of your life. You are telling a lie because my life is not supporting the lie you are telling. And Kaiga says, blessings are given through raising a child. Life continues regardless. Absolute, 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 absolute. Y'all need to restrain absolute. Absolute said, tell him this is a wedding, not a circus. No clowns invited. Okay. Zirpenda says, what if he was dead? Who would bless you? Thank you for that question. If you're saying I have to be blessed by my father, even though he was not part of my life, if he was dead, what would you do? So that's so toxic because then fathers can be as toxic as they want to be and they'll always be accepted. And this is the reality in these cultures. Bloom Wellness Hub says his sisters who never liked my mom went ahead to scatter my marriage because somehow one of the sister is a friend to my then husband's mother's sister. Lady Azama says, would one take this matter to the elders for guidance? As far as a blessing, how could one ever consider such? When he attempted to curse the offspring in his leaving, but the attempt failed. Can the deceased father bless you? It's inconsequential. Absolute says, my grandma married five times. Mom, sisters, let my nephews know we only celebrate good men in this family. McManuel said, fathers from the mother's side can always be an alternative. I want you to think about it. You are seeing me right now on YouTube and TikTok. You have lived your life. You're an adult. I'm assuming everybody here is 18 and above. You're meeting me here on TikTok. Imagine now you wanted to get married and you're saying to your family, unless Dr. Tochi blesses my marriage is not going to work. Does that make sense? You only see me on TikTok. You've met me on TikTok. Maybe you had a consultation with me. And then you're saying to yourself, unless Dr. Tochi blesses me, my marriage won't work. I don't want to get married. It's insanity. How have you been succeeding and living and existing before you met me? How? So, do you see when I say we need to upgrade the spirits we worship? Many of us secretly worship the spirits of our mothers and fathers, brothers and sisters, but those are not the spirits that are keeping us alive. Those are not the spirits that are keeping us alive. And that's why I told the story of Abraham. Those visitors, those strange visitors, those hidden angels came to him and said, "We need to upgrade you. You don't have any kids. You don't have, okay, some of the things. You're wealthy. You have servants. You have male servants, female servants. You got wives. You got all kinds of things going on. But we see you don't have an heir. You don't have anyone to leave all these things to. We need to upgrade your spiritual experience. So we know you have your household idols. If you read your Bible, for those of you who are Bible scholars, read your Bible. Abraham, before he became Abraham, used to travel with his household idols. That was the culture, that was the custom of that time. People traveled, especially the nomads, they traveled with their household idols. But these people, and remember, I'm treating Bible stories as allegories. Okay? I'm not treating them as factual. But these angels came to him and said, "We need to upgrade your spiritual life. We have this other deity. If you start working with this deity called Yahweh or Jehovah or whatever you call this, they call it the deity, your life will be 10x'd. And if you're going to work with this deity we're introducing you to, you got to change your name. Your name represents your image. Your name represents your identity, not just your physical identity, but your spiritual identity. So we're going to change not just your physical identity, because people are going to stop calling you Abraham. They're going to start calling you Abraham. But we're going to change your spiritual identity in order for you to be qualified and able to work with this higher order spirit. And Abram said, "Count me in. I'm all for it. Count me in." So he started working with Yahweh and his life 10x'd. So if you keep going to church, I'm going to say something here that's going to sound like forbidden fruit, and some people are going to be riled, but it is what it is. We're here to tell the truth. So if you're there going to church and you're dancing and you're doing all these things, or maybe you say, "Oh, I'm a traditional person. I live a spiritual life. I believe in the gods and goddesses. I believe in deities. I work with my spiritual crew. I work with this and I do this, or I belong to this religion and that religion and I worship this God, or I work with this pastor and I believe in Jesus and I believe in all these things." But at the end of the day, you're saying, unless my absent father, who did not want me, unless he blesses me, I'm not moving forward. That's the true spirit you're worshiping. Not all the ones you're making noise about, not the one that you set up the altar for, not the ones that you're going to church for. That's not what you're worshiping. What you're worshiping is your Father's spirit. That's what you're worshiping. You're worshiping a spirit that is oppressing you, that doesn't care for you. You're worshiping a vampire, a vampiric spirit. And there are many of us who are doing this. Your mother doesn't want you. Your mother curses you. Your mother is always taking from you, never giving you. Your father is cursing you. He never blesses you. He doesn't have a kind word to tell you. He doesn't have any love to show you. Some of us out here who have parents living, when was the last time your mother hugged you? Who is this person? This person is Letty. Let me see. I'm going to accept the lady. I don't know who Letty is. When was the last time your mother hugged you? When was the last time your father hugged you? Let's be real. Because if a person likes you and loves you, they will hug you, they will touch you, they will want to hug you, they will want to touch you. Okay? I was in a dementia workshop yesterday where we were talking about intimacy and dementia. And sometimes when people with dementia are making intimacy suggestions, they're really just wanting human contact, but they don't know how else to express it. So they might be taking their clothes off or touching in strange ways and things like that. Okay. And in that webinar, you know, healthcare providers, we have to be doing all these CEUs and stuff like that. So we have to take, do all these classes and courses and things like that. The presenter was saying that touch is one of the ways that we express love. Touch is one of the ways that we express love. And you will see older people, because they can't be physically intimate anymore for whatever reason, sometimes for medical reasons, they cannot be intimate. So they will hold hands. You will see an old man and an old woman holding hands. They may be caressing hands. That's their form of intimacy because that's all they can do. Sometimes there was an example given about a man. Um, he would help his wife. The wife had dementia. And so his form of intimacy with his wife was to go help her shower. And these are older people, people in their 70s, 80s, and 90s. Okay. And so his form of intimacy with his wife was to help her shower and then lotion her body, dry her off and lotion her, help her put on his clothes. That's how he showed love. He would touch through touch. So if and there's so much research on the power of touch. I've discussed some research about babies that was done years ago where they compared groups of babies who were touched after birth, who were handled by their mothers after birth, cuddled and cradled, and babies who were not. The babies were born and just left, in their cots, and someone would come and feed them with a feeding bottle. They never got breastfed. And they looked at the immune system of those two sets of babies. The babies that were cuddled and breastfed and touched and held had stronger immune systems compared to the babies who were not touched. That is why when people are not touched, they are stressed. They're more dis- disease prone. Their immune systems are lower. That's why you have a lot of elderly people passing away because of isolation. No one touching them, no one hugging them, no one coming into physical contact with them. Stay with me. I'm going somewhere with this. Okay? The elders will collect the bride price. Not all know that they should bless you. The mother's blessings and your own blessing matters, even your younger or elder brother. My question to you, Bloom Wellness, why does it have to be a man? Why is the man's blessing more significant than the woman's blessing? That's a question. So I want you to think about that. So why am I saying this? There are many of us out here who are never touched by our parents. Our parents never touch us. They never hug us. The only time they touch us is in a beating. Yet we're out here dancing in a circus for them. We're working 2 shifts, 3 shifts for them. We're denying ourselves to please them. We're giving in to all their demands. But these same parents will never, ever touch you with love. They will never. Anytime that they're touching you is going to be striking. That's the only time they will touch you. So, when was the last time? And I'm not talking about those in diaspora for whatever reason. Maybe you're still waiting on your papers, or you don't have money to travel and things of that nature. But you have a history of your mom and dad always hugging you and touching you. I'm talking about those of you who have no history of touch and hug and love from your parents. Can you confidently say with your full chest that your parent loves you when they won't even touch you? They won't even hug you. And when you try to hug them or touch them, they beat you off. They push you away. They're like, get off me. Can you say that that person truly, oh, yeah, I know they love me in their hearts. It's just their generation. They don't show love, really? But that same parent who refuses to hug you hugs other people. They will go to meetings, they will go to places, they will hug other people, but they won't hug you. Have you ever thought about that? They will go to church and hug people, but they won't hug you. They will go to the marketplace, the supermarket, and hug people. Oh, hey, how are you? I haven't seen you in a while. They will hug other people, but you, who is their child, they brought into this world, they will not touch you. They will not hug you. Have you ever thought about that? So parental dislike is real. And if you are still worshiping at the altar of parental approval when the same parent does not want you or like you, it is very difficult for your spiritual crew, your spirit guides, for your ancestors to help you. It's going to be very difficult for them to do that for you. It's going to be very difficult. That's why when people come to me for a spiritual consultation and we do a divination, one of the questions I ask is, does this person's mother have a hand in their situation? What is their mother's input into their situation? What is their father's input into the situation? I usually make that inquiry when I'm doing a divination. Because I have people who will come to me in spiritual consultation and they're so busy defending their parents, and their parents are the cause of their problems. Spiritual cause, at the very least, of their problems. There are some people, some parents who know that they have curses and hexes in their lineage, and they know their children are suffering from the curses and hexes in their lineage. They know, but they will do nothing about it. They will say, "Oh, I'm leaving it for Jesus. I'm leaving it for Allah. Let Allah take care of it." And they are okay with watching their children suffer. They're okay with it. They're okay. They will not do anything to help their children. They're okay with it. And they will say it's the will of Allah. It's the will of Jesus. It's the will of God. And if you have parents who are like that, my dear, you have you do not have good parents. I'm sorry to break it to you. You do not have good parents. You do not have good parents. If your parents are willing to watch you suffer and they know the cause of your suffering and they're not doing anything to alleviate that suffering, your parents do not like you. There's no whitewashing that. There's no um, trying to smooth that over, trying to sweeten that with honey. If your parents are not, if they're there just saying, oh, keep on praying. Some of the most heartbreaking stories I have heard during divination and spiritual consultations is where a child, especially a daughter or son, is actively suffering. And all the mother is saying is, oh, keep on praying. Don't do anything spiritual. It's against the will of God. Don't do anything spiritual. It is demonic. Let God have his way with you. If it's the will of Jesus, he will come out of it. That mother who was telling you that is a wicked mother. The father who is saying that to you is a wicked father. And they're saying that to you because that problem, you are the one suffering it. You're the one who's up at night. You're the one who's crying about that problem, not they. They sleep well at night because they know that at the end of the day, you're going to send them money. So they're like, yeah, I don't care how you get that money. I don't care how you suffer to get that money. I don't care what inconvenience you have to go through to get that money and send it to me. I don't care about that. That's not my problem. All I know is that you should send me the money. You should give me what I want. And if you have any problems, figure it out. That parent does not like you. There's no way I can sweeten this message to make it more palatable to you. There is no way I can make this message more palatable to you. If your parent is comfortable watching you struggle, watching you suffer, and the only thing they will say to you is, oh, keep on praying, that parent does not like you. Either that or they have a mental health issue. Because some of them might have mental health issues. Go to the streets and make that money. Yeah, some parents are like that. They will tell you, go to the streets and make that money. I don't care what you have to do in the streets. Just make that money and send it back home. Mama, I'm tired. Mama, I'm hurt. Mama, I'm in pain. They don't care. Why do I have a crack in my dashboard? That's strange. They don't care. I don't care. Mama, I am tired. I'm fatigued. They're like, don't come up into my house and come and eat up all my food. If you were a good child, you would make sure there was food in my house. And you don't have enough common sense or experience. You don't have enough courage to say to that mother, other mothers are leaving inheritances, they're leaving legacies for their children. What are you leaving for me? You're not leaving me anything. You don't have enough courage to tell her that. Other women, Sophia Lakija, Oprah, who are all the wealthy women? Come on, give me the names of wealthy women. Portia. I saw Portia Williams. Remember Portia Williams from Real House of Atlanta, the one who was married to the Nigerian prince? I saw her on TikTok yesterday. She's selling wigs, $260 wigs. She and her friend, they were selling wigs on TikTok. And I can bet you her child or children are not going to suffer. They're not going to suffer. So you should be able to tell your mother or your auntie or whoever is standing in for your mother and not who is not interceding for you and doing more for you. You should be able to stand up to that person and say, these women are leaving legacies for their children. They're leaving stuff to set up their children so that their children can achieve and do more. They're sending their children to the better schools. They're teaching their children how to do business. They're teaching their children how to make money. What are you doing for me? What have you done? And like I said earlier, if you don't have the courage to do that, get a burner account. Get a burner email, burner phone, and send that message to them anonymously. Let them deal with it. Oh, in their generation, they never used to. But how come the other women in her generation were doing it for their children? Was she blind? Was she deaf? Did she not see what the women of her generation were doing for their children? Oh, in their generation, they did. That's a lie from the pits of hell. There are some women in their 90s. I was listening to their interviews, and they were talking about the things they did to make sure that their children will never suffer and never beg for money in life. Women who are now in their 90s, some of them have passed. Some of them had to marry men they did not want to marry in order to make sure that their own children will never suffer. So if that mother runs up on you and says, why you're not giving me, why you're not, look at what other women your age did for their children. Some of these women, you're older than them. Look at what they're doing for their children. Look at what they did for their children. What are you doing for me? I want to know. Let's have that conversation. Oh, you're trying to be rude. You're trying to be ungrateful. I'm not being rude. I'm not being ungrateful. I'm just asking. When these people were out on the streets, when they were hoeing on the streets, what prevented you from being out on the streets, hoeing along with them so that we, your children, me, your child, can have a better life and that you don't have to depend on me? Look at Kris Jenner. Kris Jenner had how many of her kids? Four of her kids, five of kids, and her husband died. And what did she do? She went and married an Olympic medalist. Had two more kids. And hustled. Did all kinds of things. She made her daughters into products. And her kids, so almost all her kids are billionaires now. I will point that out and say, Kris Jenner is a woman your age. Look at what she did for her children. First husband was a well-known surgeon or attorney. I forget which, Kim's father, what he was, Chloe's father. So there was a surgeon or attorney. And then he passed and she went and married an Olympian. Because she didn't want the children she had with the first husband to suffer. So she went and married a prominent person. Oh, he was a lawyer for OJ. Okay, so he was an attorney. Okay. Yeah, my aunt did that and married 3 times. Cousin graduated Harvard and Yale debt free. Okay. We know this in our heart, but no one is saying it. Thank you, ma'am, for this conversation. She married another well-to-do man so that the 4 or 5 kids she had for her first husband would not suffer. She did not push aside those 4 or 5 children she had for the first husband in order to cater to the second man, because there are a lot of women out here who will disregard those children from the first husband, so that the second husband will love her and only her, and they will do away with those children from the first husband. There are lots of women who will do this. They will treat the children from the first marriage or relationship. Remember those stories? Remember there are women in court in America now who did away. Remember the woman who took her 5 kids and put them in the lake for her boyfriend. Put her 5 kids in the lake for a boyfriend, not even a boyfriend, because the man complained that he didn't like the children. So she took the 5 kids to a lake. But Kim Kardashian's mother didn't do that. She was like, I will find a man who will take care of me and my crew. And she found him and gave him 2 kids. So there was a house full of kids. And she was like, okay, I have someone helping to pay the basic bills, and I'm going to be out here in the streets. And here's the strategy I'm going to have for these kids. And I'm going to set up these kids so that they will never, ever have to beg for bread. They will never, ever have to suffer because their father passed. So if my mother came up to me and she's making all these demands, I will say, look at Kris Jenner. Look at what she did for her kids. And she's still alive. And her kids are billionaires. Look at what Beyonce's mama did for her and her father. Because Michael Knowles was the one who quit his job with IBM and started managing Beyonce full time, sending her to singing school and doing all kinds of things because he had a vision for this child's life. And now they're reaping the benefits of it. So I would ask that mother who is bothering me, I would say to her, what vision did you execute for my life so that I would not be a burden on anyone, that I would be an ATM for you? What plan did you execute for me to be your ATM? I want to know. Oh, are you being rude? I'm not being rude. I'm just asking, what plan did you execute? What did you do? I'm seeing over here Neka's mother. People used to make fun of Neka's mother and say she was a hoe, she was a this, she was a that. And people used to accuse Neka's mother of not being faithful to the father. But I see where Neka is now. Neka is married to a very wealthy man. Her mother taught her the value of money. Her mother taught her how to get the best kind of husband. It's just as easy to love a rich man as it is to marry a poor man. Her mother showed her how to make herself attractive. Her mother showed her how to be feminine, how to operate in her feminine energy. I'm just kind of curious, where were you when Aneka's mother was teaching her all these things? I would even take it up a notch. I Holy Ghost fire. I would even take it up a notch. I had a dream last night where your mother came to me, Grandma. Your mother came to me in the dream last night and said, you are a bad daughter, that you have not done for me what she did for you. Psych her. Or Grandpa came to me in the dream and said, you have not done for me what he did for you. So I'm just telling you about the dream I had last night. And then see what that parent has to say. Some of the most, I just got to be careful with these platforms. some of the most parents are the ones who would just stand and watch you suffer. And then they will come back later and say, I knew you would make it. I always believed in you. I knew you would make it. I knew you would succeed. I never doubted you. You were the most intelligent. You were the smartest. You were the most hardworking. But they never invested anything in your success. They were the ones always telling you you're a fool, you are this, you're that, you will never make it. The ones who are always comparing you to others. Are you not ashamed of yourself? Look at Neka. Neka is the director of IT. Are you not ashamed of yourself? Marcus is the CEO of his own enterprise. Are you not ashamed every time? Are you not ashamed of yourself every day? That's all they have to say to you. Are you not ashamed of yourself? 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 Are you not ashamed? Look at your mates. Every day they're telling you, look at your mates. You need to be able to turn around and say to them, how about your mates? Your mates live in the better section of town. Why are we living here? No, you're comparing me to my mates. Fine. Your mates are living in the better section of town. Your mates sent their kids to elite schools. Your mates sent their kids, my friends, to private school. Your mates were sending their kids abroad every summer for enrichment and holidays. Your mates. Remember, there was a time I told a story about an uncle-ish. I want to call him an uncle-ish because I don't know if he's a cousin-ish or uncle-ish. So let me just call him an uncle-ish. I went to Africa. He saw me there and he started laying into me. I can't believe you left me here for 30 years. You never asked about me, and I've been suffering, and I got married, and I had kids. Never for one day did you think to send me money to help me raise my kids, and you're doing well, and you live in America with your husband and your kids, and you doing this, and you never asked about me. I can't believe it. And you never asked if I'm eating. I'm not eating. And his children were just standing with him and they were so embarrassed. And you never did this for me and never did that for me. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. Your other cousins, and they did this for me and did that for me, and you never did anything for me. And I let him have his way. And when he was done, I said to him, are you done? He says, yes. What do you have to say? What you should do right now is look at my three children here. You need to start planning right now. We're standing. He didn't even say come indoors and sit down. We're just standing in front of the house. My aunt's house, my aunt and my uncle's house, which he now lives in with his children because her children, my cousins, have their own home. So that home is, they let him live there with his family. And he was carrying on. And I said, are you done? And he said, yes. And I said, where were you when I was being abused as a child? And you were already an adult when I was a child and you did nothing. And you stood to the side and watched me being abused. Where were you? He goes, I said, where were you? When I was being like a tom tom, where were you? Where were you? He was like, I couldn't have done anything. I didn't know anything. You know that those adults then, they were more powerful than I said. Did you even speak up for me? You may not have been able to physically intercede, but did you even speak up for me? Did you even speak up for me? Did you even say to them, this thing you people are doing to this child is not right? Did you even comfort me? Okay, let's say you couldn't even speak to them. You were afraid of the adults who were treating me badly. Did you ever come and comfort me? And his children were just like this. And I said, tell your children are standing here. I was a child younger than these your children standing here. Did you ever comfort me? He's like, I didn't have any money. I said, that's not what I'm asking. When I was crying and I was hungry and I was beaten and I was being starved, did you ever, even secretly, give me a morsel of food? Secretly. He was like, I said, so now you are stuttering. And he goes, you know that I have a stutter. But when you were inveighing against me, you did not stutter. When you were inveighing against me, you did not stutter. But now we are trading it. You are saying what I have not done for you. And I'm now telling you what you did not do for me. You are stuttering. You had better not stutter. Because I will tell you to your face. He says, oh, you haven't changed. You haven't changed. You've always been outspoken and bold. You haven't changed. I thought that now that you're older, you will be more woman-like so that you can finish me. You want me to be more woman-like so that you can finish me. You thought I'll be more woman-like, more demure, so that you can say whatever you want to say to me and get away with it. I said to him, I said, darling, I have something to tell you. I said, darling, I have something to tell you. When I was a child, I did not know the kind of spirits that walked with me. Right now, I'm a spiritual practitioner. If you thought I was wicked as a child, right now I am a dictator. I am a demonic vampire now. I'm a demonic vampire. And sometimes when you talk to these people, you have to talk to them in their accent. If they're Caribbean, you speak to them. Right now, I'm a demonic vampire. If they're African, I'm a demonic vampire. Because you want to make sure that whatever you're saying is sinking into their medulla oblongata. You want to make sure that it's slipping into their prefrontal and postfrontal cortex, all their cortexes. I want you to know that now that I'm older, I am a demonic vampire. I'm not just a demon, I'm not just a vampire. I'm a demonic vampire with powers. Oh, you thought that now that I'm older, I'll be more feminine and you can say things and I'll be like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. No, I'm a demonic vampire. That's what I do now. See my fangs? He didn't need a divination to tell him that he needed to fall back. He didn't. He didn't need a divination to tell him that he needed to fall back. And speaking of divinations, make sure you get this. Okay, I know you guys on YouTube, you're not seeing it, but those of you on TikTok, you're seeing it. I have African Divination. My ebooks are out, volumes 1, 2, and 3. TikTok says AI summary, a dramatic story of a spiritual revenge. Share your thoughts on the tale. TikTok is funny. Okay, so I have African Divination, Volume 1, North Africa, Volume 2, East Africa, and Volume 3, Central Africa. I just put that out a couple of days ago. Learn how your people do divinations. It's not tarot cards, it's not oracle cards. Learn how your people do divinations. If you're a spiritual practitioner, you need this information. You need this information if you're a spiritual practitioner. You can go to tochi.us, navigate to courses and books. You can get it today. You can get it right now. Don't be ignorant. Understand that your people are powerful. The next volume to come out, volume 4, will be Southern Africa. Each volume treats different ethnic groups, different tribes, different ethnic groups, and how they do divinations. I want you to be armed. I want you to be fortified. I want you to be informed. And then the other one I have is the Ancestor Connection Primer. Learn how to connect with your ancestors and stop a whole bunch of bullshit. Learn how to connect with your ancestors. If your parents are not doing what they're supposed to do, skip over their generation. Go to your ancestors. Skip them. Go to your ancestors. Skip them and go to your ancestors. Do you know you can report your mother to your ancestors? Thank you for reposting, Manix Man. Did you know you can report your ancestors? Did you know you can report them? I mean, report your parents to your ancestors. Are you aware? Are you aware that you can report your parents to your ancestors? A lot of you don't know this. Oh, my mother is doing this to me. My father is doing this to me. There comes a point where if you can't report them to your ancestors and then watch what happens. Report them. Report them and watch what happens. BW says no. Yes, you can. Take your, depending on your tradition, I use West African tradition. I always have kola nuts with me. I always have kola nuts with me. Okay? I always have the drink with me. I will report you in a heartbeat, especially if I know your power is greater than my power. I will report you in a heartbeat. I will not wait. I will not discuss. I will not consider. I will not show mercy. I will report you. I always travel with my supplies. And I got more. I got white chalk here. I got my camwood here. I have a whole bunch of things up in here with me. I will report you in a heartbeat. I will report you in a heartbeat. Especially if I know that I can't reach you, I can talk to you. And do you know you can report a parent who has passed to the ancestors. So if they themselves are already in the land of the ancestors, let their fellow ancestors deal with them. Yes, Ms. Zurapenda. I got them all. That's it. I got more. I have it all. All of my vehicles are working shrines and altars. How do you say not working? Moving altars. All of my vehicles are moving altars because you never know when you need to do something right quick. You need to do something very quickly. So it behooves you to understand these things. And why I like divination and knowing the different ways of doing divination is because I can quickly check things. I'm not like if something is not clear to me, I will check things very quickly in a heartbeat. I'm not going to sit there and try to guess, let my emotions and my feelings get in the way. I will check things in a heartbeat. I'm not waiting. So, African Divination Volume 1, North Africa. If you're from North Africa, if you're descended from North Africans, you want to get that. Then Volume 2 is East Africa. If you're from East Africa, you want to get East Africa. Know how your people do divinations. Even if you can't do the divinations, if you go to your spiritual practitioners, you want to make sure they're doing the right thing. I do not want to. Central Africa is the one that I just put out. So you're from East Africa, get volume 2, East Africa. Get volume 2, East Africa is available on my site. If not, send a DM. We'll send you the link. You can go and get it direct. I do not want to be going to an Nganga. I do not want to be going to a Tahi. I do not want to be going to a Babalawo and they're cracking open tarot cards. We have a lot of that foolishness over here in the Americas. Someone will tell you, oh, I'm a Babalawo. I'm an Iya. I can do a divination for you. And the first thing they do is they're cracking open a deck of oracle cards. If you're from the Caribbean, how would you know which one to get? Get the one of your lineage, of your heritage. That's why I said yesterday in yesterday's class, go get your DNA done. Some of you from the Caribbean, I remember some of you also know that I'm also from the Caribbean. You need to listen to the stories or remember the stories that your family told, because there's some of you in your families, they still tell stories that identify the ethnic groups or the tribes they came from in Africa. If your grandmother, great grandmother used to say, we the Igbos, that's pretty clear. Giving that as an example. Okay. You need to know, especially if you're dealing with a spiritual practitioner from your lineage, you need to be able to tell if the person you're dealing with knows what they're doing or not. There's certain terminology and words. Oh, they're cutting down a tree. Okay. Certain words and terminology that your people use in their families that let you know if you're from the Caribbean or you're from the Americas. If you're in diaspora, there are some people who are children of immigrants. If you're the children of immigrants, you should have a clue as to what your lineage is. Learn these things for yourself so that folks will not be bamboozling you. Somebody telling me, oh, I'm a voodoo priest, and they crack open a deck of oracle cards. You're an initiated Mambo, you're an initiated Hungan. What are you doing with tarot cards? What are you doing with oracle cards? That's not your tradition. I'm not saying you can't use them or you shouldn't use them or you should never use them or you're forbidden from using them, but you should also know how to use the tools of your tradition. As a spiritual practitioner, you should have multiple tools in your toolkit. And the reason, again, that I put out that ancestor connection primer a couple of weeks ago is so that you don't have to sit and wait. You can start from where you are. This is why you need to connect with your ancestors. This is how to connect with your ancestors. Here are some basic things you can do to start setting up and getting in touch with your ancestors before you have the opportunity or time to be properly coached by a spiritual practitioner. You have the book. And so if the person is teaching you something weird, you can look at the book and say, well, it's not in this book by Dr. Tochi. And you can ask intelligent questions. Some people will have you buying all kinds of things and setting up elaborate altars with this color of this and that color of this and this shiny thing and that shiny thing. And none of that guarantees that your ancestors are hearing you or listening to you. The important thing is that you get results. And if I can set up a stone slab under the tree in front of me and get results, then that's what I will do. It's not necessary for me to have color coordinated accessories on my altar for my ancestors to answer me. There's sometimes I can go out into nature. I know where to go in nature and do what I need to do with what I have, and I will get results. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I will have to say goodbye at this point. I have some reports to write. And like I was saying, um, I have some CEUs to do in order to maintain my licenses. So let me go do that, run some errands. If I have the time and the energy, I'll come back on live again today. If you have learned something from today's class, let's have your IAYE in the comment section. Hi, TT Laville. If you have learned something from today's class, let's have your IAYE in the comment section. And remember again, this class will be available for replay on YT on YouTube. So once I hit stop streaming, it's going to be available on YouTube. You can go back and listen to it because there's a lot we talked about today. And if you know somebody who needs to hear today's class, forward the class to them. Have a great day, my dear. And thank you for yesterday. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. We're thankful to our Creator, our guardian spirits, our ancestors, and our spirit guides for today's forbidden fruit. May it not be wasted in our lives. Ashe. Say, Tamago, Takoza, Lesedi, Makwande, Ayabubu. It is done, it is finished, it's complete. Amen. Love you all. I'll see you soon.